Welcome to British BioMedicine Institute. Today I, Dr. Pramod Khatri, Medical Director of British BioMedicine Clinical Trials, is going to represent a simple topic named as pharmacovigilance history. So, the main voice of patient at a hospital is that keep me safe, get me well as soon as possible and treat me nice. Dying from a disease is sometimes unavoidable, but dying from medicine is unacceptable. That's why pharmacovigilance play a critical role. The basic definition of pharmacovigilance is that pharmaco means medicine, vigilance means a close watch to the signs symptoms, or they can be a alert watchfulness in respect to the danger, risk, care and caution. As per the WHO definition for the pharmacovigilance, basically it is a science and activity related to the detection, assessment, understanding, reporting and prevention of an adverse event or side effect or from any other drug related problems. The main aim and the scope of pharmacovigilance as per the patient care is that it will help in improving patient care and safety in relation to the medicine and all medicines and paramedical interventions. Whereas as per public health concern, it will help in improving public health and safety in relation to the use of drugs. And as per the risk benefit assessment, basically it will help to contribute the assessment of benefit, harm, effectiveness and the risk of medicines. And as per the communication, basically it will help to promote understanding, clinical training, effective communication to health professionals and to the public. So, in India, here is a brief history of pharmacovigilance. In 1982 to 1989, basically there were 12 regional centers for ADR monitoring. In 1997, 3 centers named as AIMS, KM Hospital and JLN Hospital, they were joined as a WHO ADR monitoring program. Whereas in 2004 to 2008, National Pharmacovigilance Program was established, and in 2010, Pharmacovigilance Program of India was launched, PVPI. And there are various drugs which are being banned by India FDA, like sibutramine. It show a adverse drug reaction to your cardiac. Remnobent, it lead to suicidal ideation, again banned. Placental extract, banned. Nimesulide, below 12 years of age, again banned. It causes hepatitis. Rofecoxib, validicoxib, they lead to severe cardiac vascular system failure. Rosiglitazone, cause heart attack, banned. Glitafloxacin, severe hypo or hypoglycemia. Estamizole, adverse cardiac event. Terfenadine, cisapride, again adverse cardiac event. All these medicines, they are removed or recalled from Indian market. And phenylpropanololamine, it lead to a hemorrhagic stroke, again withdrawn from the Indian market. So basically, if there is a valid Indian clinical data, then the medicine can be removed from that market. So as per the recent report, in the UK, every year 5,700 deaths are reported due to adverse drug reactions. Whereas in the USA, adverse drug reactions are ranked as 4th to 6th position, commonest position of death in USA alone. So, as per the VG flow, basically data will be flowing from regional centers like 1 or 2 to the regulatory authority, or it can move inter-department also, and data can be collected from external organizations in the form of XML file or in the form of PDF file also, and then it can be submitted to the E2B XML file or to the WHO database, or we also named it as VG base. So here is a simple example of how you are going to inform Upasana Monitoring Center, how we are going to write or how you are going to describe a sign and symptoms which has happened to a patient. And basically this UMC gives us a brief, it is a software where a clinical data or adverse event can be collected or submitted to the UMC in the form of various brackets. Here we can get report handling, we can have a bracket for search and statistics tools, new report, send report, list tools, relevant past drug therapy, reactions, drug-drug interaction, overview. You can save it, you can revise it. All these options, they are available inside your UMC website. So in the initial, you have to write the patient initial name, his date of birth, at what time, at what date, the SAE they have came out, what was the sex, either male or female, whether it has lead to patient death or not. All these data will be captured in your UMC, Upasana Monitoring Center. Then you have to verify your entries, and if everything is okay, then you can move to the next for entering all the next relevant information. So as per the PVPI, Pharmacovigilance Plan of India, basically there are various steering committees, or we can say under which there will be a strategic advisory committee which will be helping in signal reviewing, or basically it is a panel which helps in signal review. Whereas MOHFW, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, will be giving directions to the PVPI, Pharmacovigilance Program of India, or to the NCC, National Coordinating Center, or to the IPC, Indian Pharmacopoeial Commission, which is inside the Ghaziabad, and these regional centers or national centers, they will be helping in collecting all the rarest form of adverse drug reactions. So here is a India map where you can see the red spot where regional centers they are available, and from these data has been captured for rarest form of adverse drug reactions. So in order to reach the rural India for pharmacovigilance, basically we can use radio, TV, ASA workers, hotline numbers, and print media. These can be helpful in collecting the pharmacovigilance data. In order to seamless synergistic pharmacovigilance partnership, basically there can be a close relationship between the patient, public, press or media, or pharmaceutical industry, policymakers, and physician and medical associations. They can closely work together in order to identify, in order to capture, assess all the unknown or rarest form of adverse drug reactions. So as per the WHO, the basic definition of AE is, it is basically a response of a drug that is noxious and unintended, and that occur at dose used in human for prophylaxis, diagnosis, or therapy of a disease, or for the medication of physiological functions. And it can exclude failure, overdose, drug abuse, non-compliance, and medication error also. Classification. So basically Drug-drug interaction can be classified based upon their onset of events, either it is mild, moderate, severe, or acute if adverse drug reactions happen within 60 minutes of infusion. Subacute if symptoms came after 1 to 24 hours, and latent if symptoms are coming after 2 days. So on this basis, we can classify our adverse drug reactions. We can also classify the adverse reactions based on the severity level: mild, moderate, severe. Under mild, it requires no change in the therapy. Moderate, it requires change in therapy, additional treatment can be given, and patient can be admitted to the hospital. Whereas under the severe, there can be life-threatening or there can be a permanent defect. So, as per the FDA, the basic definition of adverse drug reaction is that if it results in death, it is life-threatening, it requires hospitalization, there is a prolonged hospitalization, it causes disability, it leads to congenital anomalies, or it requires intervention to prevent any permanent injuries. So these are the classifications of serious adverse drug reactions in accordance with the FDA. So basically, classification of ADI can also be done with the help of two types, specialties of two types, type A and type B. Type A is also known as augmented, and basically in this type A there can be an extension of pharmacological effect. It is predictable, and the mechanism of adverse reaction is basically known. It can be dose dependent, and it is responsible for at least 2/3 of adverse drug reactions, and it can give you toxic effect or side effects. And these are the most common side effects like vomiting, diarrhea, and allergic reactions. And these are preventable and reversible process. Whereas type B, also known as bizarre, these are idiosyncratic or immunological reactions or allergic reactions. They are rare and unpredictable. We cannot decide whether this unknown inflammation or immunological reaction, it came from the main medicine or from the trial medicine. These are more serious. They are basically mostly non-dose related, and they can be predicted or prevented if genetic basis is known. Here, pharmacogenetics play a critical role in identifying these types of immunological disorders, and basically they give us a allergic reactions, idiosyncrasy, and intolerance in a patients sometimes. So as per the WHO and Upasala Monitoring Center, the casualty categories, they can be divided into various types. Either it is certain, probable or likely, possible, unlikely, conditional or unclassified, or unaccessible or unclassifiable. So under certain, event or a laboratory test abnormality with plausible time relationship to drug intake, and it cannot be explained by disease or by the medicine. The response to withdrawal plausibility, or either it is pathologically or pharmacologically, is not identifiable, and the event definitive pharmacological or phenomenological and objective or specific medical disorder or a recognized pharmacological phenomenon, and they can be a re-challenge satisfactory if it is necessary. Whereas under probable or likely, means the medicine can have likely or probably cause this type of symptoms. In this case, event or laboratory test, they can be abnormal within the reasonable time relationship to the drug intake, whereas it is unlikely to be attributed to disease or to the medicine, and there can be response to withdrawal clinically reasonable, and re-challenge is not required at all. Whereas in the possible, there will be an event or laboratory test, again abnormal report can come with reasonable time relationship to drug intake. It can be explained by disease or other drug, information on drug withdrawal may be lacking or unclear. Whereas in unlikely, basically the event or laboratory test, they are abnormality with a time to drug intake that make a relationship improbable but not impossible. Disease and other drug provide plausible explanation here, whereas under conditional or unclassified, basically there will be abnormal laboratory or event reporting. More data is required for proper assessment and additional data will be used for examination, whereas under unaccessible or unclassifiable, basically report will be suggesting for adverse drug reactions and it cannot be judged because information is insufficient. Data cannot be supplemented or verified in this case, and all the points should be reasonably compiled. So I hope you have gained a lot of clinical information on this beautiful topic. Please like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel named as British Biomedicine Institute. Good luck, goodbye.